begins the same way almost every time. You wake up, but something is wrong. You cannot move. Your body is completely paralyzed.
Then the light. Overwhelming. Impossibly bright. And then nothing. A gap in time, a hole in memory, are standing over you.
And then you are back, in your bed, in your room, in your life. But nothing, absolutely nothing, is the same.
This experience has been reported by an estimated 3 to 4 million Americans. Across every country, every century of recorded human history, what it does to the people who have it is real.
Today, the Ripple Lab goes where few behavioral science channels dare. Not to prove or disprove, not to mock or sensationalize, we have ever run. Before we go inside the experience, we need to understand where this phenomenon comes from. Because the history of alien abduction is as fascinating as the experiences themselves. Accounts of beings from the sky visiting humans appear in ancient Sumerian texts. In medieval European folklore, this correlative every inhabited continent.
But the modern alien abduction phenomenon begins on the night of September 19, 1961. A married couple through rural New Hampshire when they reported seeing a strange craft.
Under hypnotic regression, both Betty and Barney independently described being taken aboard a craft, examined by non-human beings, and returned to their car with no memory of the experience. The case became a media sensation. And here is where the science gets interesting. In the years following, the Hill case increased dramatically, not just in a worldwide.
By the 1990s, Harvard psychiatrist Dr. John Mack had interviewed over 200 abduction experiencers, and what he found shook his entire professional framework. These were not crazy people. They were ordinary men and women, accountants, teachers, nurses, farmers, who had experienced something that had changed their lives. Now let's do what the Ripple Lab does best. Let's look at the science. All of it. Honestly. Without agenda.
The leading neurological explanation for alien abduction experiences is sleep paralysis, a well-documented and genuinely terrifying phenomenon. During REM sleep, your brain paralyzes your body. A protective mechanism prevents you from physically acting out your dreams. Occasionally, this paralysis persists. You are conscious.
Here is where it gets extraordinary. Sleep paralysis is accompanied by hypnagogic hallucinations. These commonly include the sense of a presence and the perception of non-human figures.
Dr. Persinger studied tectonic strain. He created the God helmet. It delivers magnetic fields to the brain. Subjects reported sensing presences and lights. Memory is not a recording, it is a reconstruction. The brain rebuilds it from fragments, filling gaps with expectations, providing a template for anomalous experiences.
The temporal lobe is associated with pattern recognition, language, and the sense of self. Stimulation creates anomalous experiences.
Memory is not a recording, from fragments, filling gaps with expectations, and culturally available narratives, like the alien abduction template.
The honest scientific position, the only defensible one, is the same as with near-death experiences. We do not fully know, and the not knowing, if you can sit with it without rushing to certainty, is...
Let's go inside the experience itself. Not one account, Dr. John Mack, Dr. Thomas Bullard, and the thousands of experiencers who have come forward.
The experience almost always begins at night. Often between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., the deepest hours of the sleep cycle. Something wakes the experiencer, a light, a sound. And then, paralysis. Complete and sudden. Researchers note, the abduction paralysis feels as if outside is preventing movement.
The beings. This is where the abduction literature becomes most consistent and bodies. Researcher Thomas Bullard and found that this physical disorder at Indiana University and people.
Not violent. Not hostile, clinical, detached, without malice, but also without warmth.
A direct transfer of information that bypasses language entirely. Experiencers describe understanding things, being shown things without words, as if a direct transfer of information. Experiencers describe understandings without words, as if meaning moved directly from one consciousness to another. The examination, the most disturbing element. Painless, but deeply violating. A complete removal of autonomy.
This asymmetry was profoundly significant. To be completely transparent to an intelligence that remains opaque.
The message. Not every experiencer reports receiving one, but those who do describe a remarkably consistent content. Images of Earth, often disturbing images. You are not taking care of this. You are running out of time. But whether that is comforting or terrifying depends entirely on return. Return. The same memory never be fully recovered. And a weight of experience that may never be fully shared.
And now, the Ripple Lab's real experiment begins. Because whether the alien abduction experience is a literal encounter with non-human intelligence,
the first change is universal. Your previous understanding of reality dissolves. Whatever you believed before shatters, difficult, but it is deeply transformative.
The second consistent change, a dramatic and permanent increase in environmental concern, found remarkable overlap between the two groups. Both showed dramatically increased
concern for the natural world. Both reported feeling a new and urgent sense of responsibility for the planet.
The fourth change, perhaps the most philosophically significant, an expanded sense of identity, of belonging. The cosmos is populated with intelligence.
And here is what that does to the way you live. The petty conflicts, the status competitions, the territorial angst that consume so much human energy. The fifth change, and the most painful, the loneliness of having an experience that cannot be shared. The social processing of the experience was often harder than the experience itself. And yet, those who find each other, who find the communities of experiencers that now exist, report something remarkable.
Either way, the human mind is vaster, stranger, and more extraordinary than most of us ever give it credit for.
And now, the Ripple Lab believes that what the alien abduction experience human beings matters, regardless of what is actually causing it.
It destroys certainty. And while the destruction of certainty is initially terrifying, the willingness to sit with not knowing, the foundation of all genuine inquiry.
You don't need an alien abduction to cultivate that openness. You just need the willingness to hold your certainties lightly, to stay curious.
You are not alone, and you never were. This is the message abduction experiencers report. It comes from intelligence beyond our maps.
Because the deepest human suffering is not physical. It is the feeling of being fundamentally alone, of being the only consciousness that does not know you exist.
The urgency is not unique to them. The overview effect produces the same response, the sense of the planet's fragility. The home we all share requires care.
You don't need to go to space. You don't need an abduction. You need only to find the perspective, the felt sense of Earth's fragility that both astronauts.
The question of whether alien abductions are real may never be definitively answered. And the Ripple Lab believes that is exactly as it should be. The question itself does something to the person who holds it.
It keeps them humble. It keeps them curious. It keeps them open to the possibility that reality is larger and stranger, and more populated with mystery than the comfortable.
Here is what the alien abduction experience, in all its strangeness, all its controversy, all its unresolved mystery, teaches us about being human.
Your mind is vaster and stranger than you imagine. Certainty is a cage, openness is freedom. You are not alone, and you never were.
3 to 4 million people report having been taken, returned, changed. We do not know with certainty what happened to them. We may never know.
You are on a rock orbiting a star, in an observable universe whose contents we cannot fathom. Whatever else is out there, that will not come again.
What would change if you truly felt that? Not as information, as experience.
What ripple would that create? This has been the Ripple Lab. One choice, infinite ripples. Look up more often.